One on Sirius XM. I'm Mikey Piff. So excited to have Gracie Abrams back.
Hi.
It's literally been a year since we saw you last. It was June of last year.
Thank you for having me back.
Oh no, we were so excited. We love Risk.
Thank you.
Your new song. It's so fun.
Thanks.
The video is a blast. It's so cheeky.
Yeah. Dramatic.
Your friend Audrey knocked it out of the park.
She friggin' did. That's her directorial debut, and also she hadn't written music before, so this has been really exciting for us to be able to just celebrate it together.
Well, I was gonna say last time we spoke, you know, the last piece of work you worked a lot with Aaron Dessner.
Yep.
Who's the King of Kings now.
Mm-hmm.
And this one specifically you wrote with your best friend. Audrey, did you two write all the songs in this upcoming album together?
Not all of them, but a handful for sure. And some of my absolute favorite ones. And I think there's something that just like is so pure about working with someone you're that close with. And also she's just got my favorite brain. So I'm really excited for people to get to know, you know, her a bit through this music. And it's definitely a side of me that is I think far more actually me versus the kind of quieter. You know, this feels right. It feels right. And I feel really stoked that we get to do it together.
You were hanging with our friend Jimmy Fallon earlier. And I think you used the word extroverted for this song on this album, which I'm like, felt it 100% through the video. I was like, oh, this is like a fun, whimsical, you know, a little cheeky Gracie we're getting now.
Totally.
Is that the album? Is that the vibe?
Yeah, that's the vibe. It's, I mean, honestly, again, writing songs when you're in a place where your feelings are these kind of extremes. Being in your 20s, things change all the time. I mean, for all of us, but I feel like you're experiencing lots of firsts in your 20s, like learning how to deal with big feelings as an adult, a new adult, and navigating how to be the rational and wise, but also having your best friends to, you know, dish with and kind of debrief. And this album is the result of lots of hours and hours and hours of conversation and, you know.
I love it. So
theatrics. So
the album's called The Secret of Us, but in parentheses, The Debrief.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be the deluxe version or something.
Ooh, okay. So, all right. So tell us about Risk. Because like, you know, the way when you're like, you try to describe it in one word or three words, everyone always asks. I wrote down like, personally, didn't think you'd be this way over someone, but here we are. That was my description of it. That's accurate. That's
accurate. I think it's like, it's that feeling where you don't know enough about someone, but you know just enough to project and make assumptions and use your imagination. And sometimes your imagination is the most exciting thing about a relationship at the end, but like at the beginning you don't know that that's the case. And so it's this kind of, it makes you feel crazy. It's like a fever dream. And that is, you know, I feel like that came through in the video a bit. There's just this manic spiral of how do you kind of keep your dignity while falling for someone. And I think Risk is losing your dignity a bit and just being very directly almost embarrassing.
Yeah, well, because you know you best, as we all know each other best. And I think that the one line that probably signifies that the best is my favorite one in the song is, watch this be the wrong thing, classic.
Mm-hmm.
I giggled at that the whole time. And then when I saw the video, I giggled again because you break the fourth wall and you do this thing.
Yeah.
And then the new album, The Secret of Us, is out June 21st, so just about a month.
Yeah, coming up.
How nervous, ready, excited? It seems like your energy and roaring to go.
I'm so excited for it to be out. I love all the songs on this album. I feel so fired up to play them live. Like I feel like they were written to be performed live. The energy in the room when we were writing all the songs was that of like the eager kind of excitement to actually scream these lyrics. And I've not had that experience with an album making process before. A lot of the music that I've made has been meant for, quieter environments. This is a more boisterous.
I mean, I don't know. If you go to a Gracie Abrams show, that crowd is pretty, they're definitely screaming those back.
Well, I needed to write an album that was a bit more worthy of their lung capacity because they bring it for sure.
So we got some, similar to last time, we got some fan questions that they have about the album. Whatever you're willing to share with us. But I'm just going to get right into a little rapid action.
Okay.
Katie from Toronto. What was one of your favorite moments of writing this album with your best friend, Audrey?
Every song has a very specific memory associated to it now in my mind. Like one of the songs on the album, we felt stuck for an hour, and so we raced around the Long Pond field, like sprinted, and then like took a shot of tequila, and we were like, okay, it's 3 p.m. Like, what is going? The very weird little like, and Risk was we were stuck at home and felt insane, and we wrote it on our couch. And there's this other song that I could go on and on, but I think it is kind of the core of our friendship is getting ourselves laughing, and this entire album process, we were laughing the whole time. So
it sounds like it from Risk.
Good.
It sounds like you had a lot of fun. Regardless of whether the topics are sad or silly or relationships, whatever, it just felt like you had fun.
Yeah, I mean, the whole album is kind of, while going through these very real experiences and relationships is constantly kind of laughing at yourself in the midst of all the madness.
All right, well, that leads us to the next question, though, from Aleski in Cincinnati, Ohio. What song are you most excited for us to hear on the new album, if you can share it?
I can't.
Okay. But is there one particularly or that came to mind?
Yeah, totally.
All right. So she knows it, but she's just not sharing it. Okay, that's fair. Courtney, another one, Toledo, Ohio. Mm-hmm. What was your biggest inspiration or influence when writing this album? Sounds like friendship.
The truth and friendship. Yeah, literally. I think it's like we were taking seeds of experiences, seeds of truth from our lives. And then, both of us being dramatic writers in our own regard, joining forces with the history that we have, the context that we have. It was really fun and easy to just like run kind of wild with it.
I love it. So we've got the Secret of Us, the debrief, that's the triple deluxe. Yeah.
Exactly.
The seeds of truth. Okay, Amber. Now this is a fun one because last time we spoke, we know how much you love cooking and baking and everything. Amber from Atlanta wants to know what flavor cake should she make for the album release?
Oh my gosh!
You're gonna have to keep Amber. If she says it, you're gonna have to do it and share it with us.
Okay, Amber. This is my feeling. I feel like just because the color scheme is yellow, isn't there like a yellow sponge cake is a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's actually, no, I don't mean food dye type, but isn't that a type of cake? Or like anything you like, Amber, whatever you love, you should follow your heart.
At least the icing could be yellow.
Sure, if you feel like it, Amber.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Brittany from Kamloops, British Columbia. She met you at the Eras Tour in Seattle and wants to know, which again, maybe you can or can't tell us, are there other co-writers on the album? And are there any collaborations?
I'm going to go ahead and just let the album speak for itself when it comes out. We're still like super early into rollout, so I'm excited to be able to just let people discover as time unfolds.
That's a very well-prepared statement, everyone. Thank you. No,
I actually have not. I'm like off the top. No,
that was good.
But I mean, Aaron Dessner is a constant co-writer.
Sure.
So,
I ask knowing you can't answer, but you know what? I'm here for the fans.
Listen.
Trying to give them what they want. Nikki from Olathe, Kansas. I had to look how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
Hardest song to write on the album, which again, maybe you can't share. And how did it push you as an artist? Maybe you can at least tell us the second part.
I'm trying to think what the hardest one was to write. Honestly, what comes to mind is the song that I mentioned us doing laps for just took a minute. It required us to sprint for 10 minutes before the second verse came along. But then it was this kind of like unlocking some gate where I think that song has my favorite bridge on the album. So it definitely did us some good to.
So the pushing you as an artist was from a physical sprint perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, we're training to write these songs.
Okay, Leah from Johnston, Rhode Island. If you could describe Secret of Us in 3 words, what would they be?
I find it very funny. I think it's funny, and it's very dramatic, and it is wistful.
I mean, if you go watch the Risk video, I get all that.
Good.
All right, last one.
Okay.
Emma from Wilmington, Delaware. Did any of the songs from the previous albums impact the vibe or songs from The Secret of Us?
I guess inherently, like everything informs everything. So I'm sure, yes. Like there's absolutely through line. Like I am still the person who's writing the music. So in that way, sure. But I think what I love is that this album does feel like a bit of a departure. It just feels like it's a different time in my life, and it's reflective of that being true. So I don't think I held on to any of the music I've released in the past to heavily influence this new album, but I do think the experiences that I've had performing old songs live, there's certain songs, like 21 being one of them, which is like one of the songs that has more tempo in my current collection. Like I was like, oh, I crave something in that direction. I don't think this is like a 21 inspired album by any means, but it feels more like how I hope to feel performing. Like this album is for a show.
The new album out June 21st, The Secret of Us. Mm-hmm. So you've been getting to do so much fun stuff lately. Did you get to go to your first Met Gala, or was that second?
I did. No, first. Absolutely first. Yeah.
How is that? It's so, I was trying to think of how to describe it, but it's so opulent and like.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's definitely.
Your dress was lovely, by the way.
Thank you very much. I felt really lucky to be able to listen to Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo 30 feet away.
I was going to say that's what I'm jealous about, because we haven't had an Ari tour in forever.
No, I mean it was next level. What they do together, like, should be studied. It's so magical. It doesn't feel like it's from this planet, and I don't know. I don't know either of them at all. I wish I did, but I've just had an amazing time on, social media, watching their messages to one another, their like dedications to each other, the kind of like sisterhood that it seems like they've developed through the process of making Wicked. I love musical theater. I'm so excited for this project on every level. So to be able to just get like an up close sneak peek at the way that that their dynamic works was just a real gift. So
I was gonna say, so if you're a musical theater nerd, what else what's in the rotation when you're in the mood?
I mean, I love Spring Awakening.
Okay.
What did I recently see? I went to see Merrily We Roll Along recently by myself. That was a solo date. That was fun for me.
Oh, that's fun. A little solo theater date?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's the best time.
It's like you just go and like be anonymous and just go, not have to worry about anyone else and just focus on enjoying the experience.
I just love, I don't know. I love theater. I think it's like one of the reasons it's similar to concerts. That's like the same thing doesn't ever actually happen twice. And I think going alone places recently has been a really nice way to meet strangers, and especially in the theater space, I feel like it's the kind of people that go. It's a whole range, like crazy age range. And I remember being there that night. There was a very young couple to my left and a very old couple to my right, and it was just sweet to be able to kind of laugh with them throughout the show and be there by myself, and love that too. And
everyone is so like, not that you're not into it when you're at a concert, but it's just theater is just different because there's so many layers and everyone is just so into it.
Yeah. I think there's something that happens when you're in a theater and there are seats, It's like it requires you're a little grounded in the present moment. But I mean, I'm the biggest fan of both, but
of
variety.
Course. What else have you been doing in your spare time to when you're not musically?
I mean, I'm reading. I think that's kind of recently been a main source of inspiration, just in terms of broadening my vocabulary and like being out of romantic relationships. Whenever that is true for me, I turn to books because there's like such intimacy in these characters' relationships that I feel really drawn to. I don't know, just inspired by, and also, not just fictional, but
well, to your point, imagination, right? You're the one, even though it's on the paper,
totally.
Like you're the one picturing, and it's totally, everyone's can be different.
Yeah, and I think also being, I having missed the last 3 years of college, I feel like I'm constantly trying to just read as much as I can in my free time and catch up, because I missed it, and I miss it actively, and
It's better when it's not assigned. I'll say that.
I love the
Unassigned
structure of
reading.
us. I think unassigned reading is a beautiful thing. I agree with you.
Let's talk about the most important relationship in your life.
Oh,
The most
Weenie,
important
you
man.
think?
Yeah, Weenie. Of course. Got to ask a Weenie question.
I was hoping we could talk about him. I miss him.
How is
so
Weenie?
much. He's great. He's good. He's perfect. I don't know. He's perfect. He's still, and he's in my mind like this immortal perfect. Did you say you wanted? You didn't.
I did. I said I think that might have evolved from the last time we spoke.
You don't anymore.
I don't.
want
No,
one?
I still want the wiener dog. I haven't got one yet because I care about animals so much. I want to make sure I can devote the time.
Yeah, call me out louder because I legitimately no, it's awful. It's I'm very lucky to have a family that loves him as much as I do.
But doesn't it always work out? You get one and like essentially like my dad was the same thing when we got our family dog that lives with my sister.
Yeah.
It's like, he would always make fun of like, it smells like dog in here, whatever. And then like a month later, they're literally all over each other.
Yeah, of course. I'm very grateful to my family for taking good care of him when I'm gone.
Does he go on good New York walks or is he not a New York walker yet?
He's never been to New York. I know. But that's going to change. And I've never put him in any dog clothes like that. There's something about that freaks me out, to be honest. But in the city, you see the little like dog shoes. Have you ever seen, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course.
Which it has to be for like just cleanliness purposes, I'm assuming.
Yeah, cool.
And like
There's
there's
salt and
glass
stuff.
and whatever. But I really want to get him. I have like a vision for like the color scheme, the whole thing. So I'm really excited to get him out
So
here.
I will share my thing. I was talking to a friend and I told you last time that I wanted to get a wiener dog and name it
You had
Oscar,
a name.
Nathan, or Frank.
I remember this.
And then I was talking to a friend and they were like, well, why don't you name it all three? And I'm just like, and then we went further and we went Game of Thrones. So here, the name of the dog will be Oscar Nathaniel Franken Weenie, the first of his name.
Oh, brilliant.
He's a regal wiener.
Or you could get 3.
Or I could still get 3.
No, I'm obsessed with that. I support you, but I also support you.
I only have 2 forearms to carry them in.
I know. It's true. Ugh, there's just never enough. But good for you for not being an irresponsible dog owner. It's good to not be a dog owner instead of being an irresponsible.
I mean, at least a weenie they're not big. They can't get in too much trouble, but like.
I know, they're just
still gotta
perfect,
take them out.
dude. Like I saw someone down the street, just walking down the street last night holding a puppy one. And its like little tiny tail was like 3 inches long, just like sticking out. I was just like, there's just something.
This has turned into just a dog channel.
Yeah, we've
now.
lost all music fans on this program.
Hanging out with one of our good friends, Gracie Abrams. Thank you for coming to spend the time. Thank you for sharing the music.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back here.
We can't wait for the new music. So, I mean, a few things before we go. This week, Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
One of the coolest things that I think I've been hearing from artists lately that maybe wasn't the case before, because I think it's, people can see it a bit more now, is just being supportive of their children's choices to do something artistic or whatever. Is there anything that like a story or something that you can remember that of your mom being super supportive about what you're doing versus like somebody going like, maybe this seems a little bit risky?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
no pun intended.
No. So yeah, actually she is, I mean, I have heard a thing for everything. And she's like, I literally call her like multiple times hourly, I just truly love her so much. But when I was in 5th grade, I went to a school that was like kindergarten through 5th grade. And when you get to 5th grade, every Friday you have an all school meeting in this auditorium at our school where like the whole school sits on the ground. You do like birthdays of the month or like what books are we reading? All these presentations. And 2 kids from the 5th grade every Friday they're the hosts, all school meeting hosts. And it's a big deal. And you like spend your whole elementary school being like, one day that's going to be me up there. And I had been writing music already at that point and writing it a ton and was playing. I was lucky enough to grow up with a couple instruments in the house and had learned a little bit of piano. And so I would play piano and sing my songs. But anytime anyone would walk past, I would stop because I never wanted anyone to hear me. It was just for myself. But she knew, because we lived together, how much time I spent doing it and that it was like my truest passion. But I was scared less about anyone knowing. And part of this presentation, the all school meeting is each host shares for like 5 minutes a thing about themselves. Like some kids would do like tricks with a soccer ball on stage or, whatever, count to like recite pi or like do a Rubik's Cube and whatever, something that they really care about. And I was gonna totally cop out, and I was like, I'll like, because I was playing soccer at the time, I was like, I'll do like a highlight reel or something. And my mom, who's like, she's the opposite of a stage parent, like the opposite. She just knew what was true for me. She's like, you have to perform because otherwise you're like kind of lying. And I was like, no, like crying. I was like, I can't do it. She's like, just do it, like do it. And my grandparents, who were all alive at the time, were there. And it was just weirdly, I sang Beautiful by Christina Aguilera on the piano. And I was tearing up the whole time. I was so scared. But that was the first like performance of my life. And it was my mom's encouragement, but we would fight about it. I'd be like, no, like I can't, I don't want to. She's like, Gracie, it would kind of like do it. So she is entirely responsible for me doing it the first time, even though it just strictly came from a place of her knowing me and being supportive. And I don't know, that's funny to remember.
I mean, that's awesome. That sounds like the moment. Like,
I definitely never wanted to do it again. I was, I think maybe it also was the inception of my like anxiety. So I think, double-edged sword, but was really, I haven't thought about that in a long time. So thanks for asking that question.
Sarcasm or not, I can't
No,
tell.
I mean it. It is funny to think about now.
Well, I feel like at some point now you got to go back and do it.
At my school?
Yeah, your school.
That's
That'd
actually cute. That's sweet. Oh, if they'd ever want me, I'd be there.
I'm pretty sure you'd be all right. Put some phone calls in.
I'd probably be even more terrified at this point.
Even nervous?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Gracie, well, I mean, so before you go, the fans are always so great to us. They've submitted all the questions, and they love you so much. And from seeing the shows and seeing how they sing every lyric, is there anything that you want to say to your fans? Any thanks or whatever, just so while they're all listening together?
Oh my God, I mean, I just constantly am thinking about. If I'm directing directly to you, I'm like, thank you so much for caring about the music that I make, that I'm lucky enough to make with friends of mine. This particular album, Secret of Us, is so written with you in mind. Like, this album is meant for us to sing together at shows. And so I just can't wait till we're all in the same place and get to do that. But till then, just truly thank you. And I love you. And I hope that, I just hope you're taking care of yourselves, and, I wish I could say it to your face, but I just really love you and I miss you, and I could talk about you forever.
Actually, that reminds me, because you posted recently that, I mean, to the fans, that you put the vinyl out for Risk, and the B-side is Close to You.
Yes.
Which I've only heard like a little, the internet snippet, but is there anything you can share about that?
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm so excited. I wrote that originally 7 years ago, and had posted that 20-second snippet, and it's like in a really good way. I don't know what the positive version of like Haunting Me is, but like it's never left kind of the conversation for me, and but it never felt like the right time. It would have been a completely different kind of path, I think, had that come out then. It just wasn't. I was too scared, and I wasn't really making like pop music. I was doing like sad, soft songs. But this album, it finally fit, and I feel really grateful that that's true, because I've always loved it, and I have always wanted the people that have cared about it for all this time to have it. So I'm just, it'll be theirs real soon.
So when the album comes out, this is when we get it.
No, it's out now on vinyl, so you can get it on vinyl.
Order it now.
Order it right now on vinyl.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I was going to say, can we play it right now?
I wish, but vinyl. All right. Vinyl o'clock.
Not so bad.
I mean, vinyl special, you got to keep it up.
Yeah. All right. So one thing I've started to ask people before we go, and kind of cool coming from a Grammy-nominated artist, kind of no big deal, right? I host a show called Hitbound. That's where like people can discover new music or new artists, or just I share things where I want people to discover stuff. Is there an artist or somebody that you would want to put on the show that you love that maybe people don't know about? I
mean, everyone knows about her now, but I've just all Chapel Roan, everything all day. Like, she doesn't need me to say her name anywhere, but like, I just think that what she's doing is so brilliant. And I think it's some of the most compelling and beautiful and fun and like pure music I've heard in a long time. So
sure, you know what? Let's play "Good Luck, Babe" then.
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
Requested by Gracie Abrams.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm
very
putting
much.
words in her mouth, but hey.
No, this is a direct request. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gracie, for hanging out.
You're
And
the
we
best.
can't wait to hear the album. And
Thanks.
thank you so much for still spending time with us. And
Thank you for having me. Literally, it's such an honor and real pleasure to
it's
catch
my
up.
honor.
It's my honor.
Fine.
Fine.
We'll agree to
We
disagree.
can fight about this off air.
Exactly. And talk about Weenie. All right.
Exactly.
Gracie Abrams on Hits, everyone. Everybody.
Bye.